Are y'all awake?
Wakey, wakey, mother
What
lovers.
time is it?
Y'all need
Are
to
y'all
wake
ready?
up. Drink some coffee or something.
Hey,
Y'all.
this is our halftime show sponsored by
go.
President's Club.
Woo!
Where's President's Club at? Let's see ya. Let's see ya. We got some giveaways. We got some caffeine coupons here.
All right, who wants a
I'm gonna
coffee?
see-
Coffee,
can y'all catch
coffee
this? You want
coupon.
Let's
one?
go, baby. Who wants some coffee?
There you go.
There it is.
She got
Catch
it.
it. It's
She
free
got it.
coffee, yo. It's $4
Apparently,
for
with all the
outside.
chapstick, we must all have real chapped lips and just look tired because they're passing out chapstick, caffeine.
Hey,
What's up? Oh,
Real quick. If there is free seats in your table, would you do me a favor? Raise your hand real quick so we can have people in the backs. All right, y'all, people in the back, find a seat. We love y'all. Jennifer told me to say that, so y'all don't get mad at
we're going to get
somebody.
this thing started. What's up,
Let's do
y'all?
it.
My name is Jake Joseph, direct to Jared Gonzalez, a part of the Leventovich organization. Where y'all at? Where's Noel?
Hair on fire.
Oh, her hair's on fire. Riddle, you weren't lying. I can't see nothing.
For real. And my name is Bryan Rojas, director of the Riddle organization. Woo! Let's go, baby.
VeRae Joseph, part of Duke's Leventovich organization. Woo!
That's right. That's right. All right, everyone. Well, hey, we're going to be sharing some tips. We're going to break it down. We were asked to be talking about the nitty gritty, tell y'all exactly what to do and how to do it, on how to get an agent started quickly, up and selling quickly, okay? I love it. Riddle and Jared and Rachel, they killed it because that's the thing. We need to set the table before we talk about started selling. We got to set the table because it's kind of like how you gonna book appointments and sell insurance if you ain't got no leads, if you ain't got no current clients, if you ain't got no referrals. So you can't get someone started to sell if you ain't recruiting, if you ain't talking to people. Okay, we're not going to talk about that, but just to set the table, you have to understand that y'all have to have some people to work with. Okay. Another piece about setting the table, a couple pieces, LLC. I want y'all to write that down. I see a bunch of laptops and notebooks. LLC, Andy talks about it in the Green Book, list, license, convention. We're going to break this down into some simple steps, but remember every single step, every time you're talking to your new people, you have to remember list, license, convention. Y'all are here because someone was LLCing you. Next thing is you got to take the responsibility of being a leader, okay? You have to take responsibility for your actions. So I love what Rachel said. If you don't know what to do yet, use your upline, use your growing up line, but you have to take responsibility. Act as though it's your child. Don't let them drown, you know? Don't let them drown. And then another piece is we have to remember sorting. We're always sorting. So when we're going through this checklist of steps that we're going to be talking about here, remember that you, as a leader, you always have to be sorting and telling who you want to be spending your time with. Because we can't, if you're 50 people wide, like what they were talking about recruiting, you can't give everyone the same attention. It won't work that way. You're going to be very frustrated. So you got to be able to learn how to sort and pick and choose, but all these things are going to help you sort by telling who takes urgency and who's quick to move, okay? But stepping into the first one is we talk about first step in getting someone started is getting them fast track. We're going to get into the minutia, all the details, okay? Is getting them fast track. That's getting their agent number, getting them set up with the alliance, right? They get their NAA number. Now, we're going to talk about this, whether it's you doing this or your staff, right? We talked a little bit about staff. Whether it's you doing this directly, if you don't have staff yet, you're going to be doing it, or there's a lot of these steps that if you have staff, they're going to be doing it. So this first one, fast track, is getting someone signed up, right? We're gonna either do it, if you can do it in person, do it in person. If you can't do it in person, either the phone or Zoom. If they're technologically challenged, Zoom is gonna help just because you can walk them through the process or your staff can walk them through the process, right? Go to the ARC, fast track a new recruit, fill out a form. We're walking them step by step on how to get through these things because they can get lost, okay? Now, we get them fast tracked and their agent agreement signed. All right then and there on this call, okay? Or in person or on Zoom. Now, I know we're talking about, we got licensed people and non-licensed, so if they're not licensed, okay? If they're not licensed, obviously as soon as we get them signed up, an agent number, we gotta get them in class, okay? Whether you use exam or Excel, it don't matter, but we have to set the expectation, guys. You can't, like they talked about pushing your people, we let them know. What we tell them is, hey, our ambitious people, our guys that are serious are getting this done in less than 48 hours. Some of them get it done in a single day. Me, I tell them, my mother-in-law, I love her. My mother-in-law, she got this thing done in 2 days. She's got a TBI, was on oxygen. Like, if she can do it in 2 days, y'all better get up and going, right? So getting people, walking them through it, holding their hand, and setting those expectations, okay?
Awesome. And then the next step that we get into, guys, so once they get through class and they've passed their test, you got to help them, walk them through the process, get them registered to get their background check, help them apply for their license. That's one thing, helping them get registered for background check and applying for the license, okay? Now, what do they do when their licensing gets approved, right? So we want people in our organization making money as quickly as they can. So the very next step is going to be getting them contracted with all of the major carriers. Okay? And contracting, that just simply means getting their agent number so they are ready to sell with an insurance carrier. So we do have, about 6 that we like to start with. I would reach out to your growing upline, your manager, to double check on this, but couple carriers that we like to get them up and going with right away. Foresters Financial. Okay, so Foresters Financial. We like using Corebridge, okay, formerly known as AIG. Transamerica. So we got Foresters, Corebridge, Transamerica, CVS Aetna, Mutual of Omaha, and Royal Neighbors, okay? So again, that's Foresters, Corebridge, Transamerica, CVS, Mutual of Omaha, and Royal Neighbors. And this is important too, guys. You don't just want to send your agent out there and say, hey, go get contracted and come back to me when you're done. We're all about walking people through this process. So again, if you have a staff member, this is a very good thing that you can delegate to them. But what you want to do is you want to show them how to do one contract, and then you want them to do the rest on their own. And now, let's give a shout out to our new contracting site. Does everybody like that, right? Our new contracting site.
Pretty bad.
They've made it super, super easy for us. So if you walk them through one or a staff member walks them through one, this contracting should really only take about half an hour at most, okay? So this isn't something that we're saying, hey, get contracted and then let's follow up tomorrow. It's like, hey, we showed you how to do one. I want you to get through this in 30 minutes. We're gonna touch base here in 30 minutes, right? Because we're all about urgency here, right? We don't have time to be waiting 24 hours with a task that should take 30 minutes, okay? And during that contracting process, what we're also doing simultaneously is we're having them do their AML training, okay? So the Alliance has an AML training as well as LIMRA. So we're doing both of the AML trainings. But again, contracting, super simple step. That's after their license gets approved. Let's get them to get their agent numbers and do their AML training.
That was good right there. GS3.
GS3.
All right, so step 3 if we're taking notes. So again, remember, as we're doing this, if you've got someone who takes 2 days to do contracting, maybe we're putting them kind of more off to the side, maybe your staff's working with them, okay? But if they get it done in like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, what they're supposed to do, again, make a mental little check. All right, this person's doing it, okay? Step 3, GS3, goal set, get started, goal set, and go serve. So again, this is where it comes to leadership. We have to get down in the weeds with our new people. We care about them, right? We want them to win. We want them to make money and hit their goals. But this is, and Brian's going to take it down more into his level because he's really good at this, this is where it starts, because it's just like when you're finding the pain in the home. If we don't know why they're doing this, like they went through to get an insurance license, like obviously there's something burning inside as to why they want to do this, okay? If they don't know, that's fine. We'll help them show them how to get making some money, but we got to slow down with them so that way we as a leader, you as a leader, you know what they're working for, right? Do they just want to make an extra bit of money to take their family on a vacation, or do they hate their boss and they want to get off and they want to go make more money than they've ever made, travel the world and have some fun? Right? We have to be able to figure that out. And this is really where you get to know them well. And this, again, no phone call. This is in-person Zoom. right? This is in-person Zoom, but this is where we set the stage and we really get to know them to figure out what they're trying to accomplish here. But I'll let Bryan take over because he's got more good stuff.
Thank you, Jake. So guys, what I do here in this portion, I kind of like want to slow down when we go into the GS3 part, right? And really like slow down in the getting to know them part, right? You want to get to know them. What do they want, right? So like if you're here and you're recruiting and you just started recruiting, I know you're wanting to get overrides quick, but you want to take yourself out of the equation and put yourself in that other person's shoes, right? Like you want to help them. Because if you help somebody else get what they want, you're going to get what you want. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
All right, cool. So one of the tools that we use, right, is this right here. These two tools right here. First one, who's ever seen this right here? The income planning sheet. So you can find this in the Getting Started Quickly on NAA University. If you click Getting Started Quickly, this is probably the first thing that they show you. All right? And so when we're talking to our agents, we're either talking to them face-to-face or on Zoom, and I share my screen and I let them see this. And I have them choose an option. Okay? Hey, what do you want? What do you think you can do? What do you want to, what's your goal for this? Right? And I tie it back emotionally, right? So in the getting to know part, let's just say, hey, look, I really hate my car payment. I'm just, I'm working full time, but like I want to get enough money to like alleviate that, or I need an extra $500 a month, something to get me through. I'm looking for what they want. If they're not ambitious, if they're not wanting the $10,000 a month, I'm cool with that. If they want just an extra $1,000 a month, I'm cool with that. It's about what they want. And so what we do is we tie this back into whatever reason, the reason behind the $500 or $1,000, I tie that in emotionally with this, and then what we do is we put it on a schedule. Does that make sense? So like, for example, let's just say a person wants $1,000 a week with us. Well, what's cool about this, it shows you the type of work you have to do to make $1,000. In other words, there's no guessing. This is backed by years of data. There's no guessing, right? So in this sheet, to make $1,000, you're going to have to do 200 dials a week. Can somebody take out their calculator and tell me what 200 divided by 40 is?
5.
5. So when I'm talking to, what's your name? Amani. So Amani. So to make $1,000 a week, Amani, with us, you're going to have to put in minimum 200 dials a week, okay? So that's about 5 hours worth of work. You should be doing about 40 dials an hour. Does that make sense? Okay. Where in your schedule can we find 5 hours to dial? On Wednesday. All right. What time on Wednesday? Okay, cool. So you're saying like 12, 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish? Okay, we need to make it specific. Can we shoot for 2 o'clock? All right, so at 2 o'clock, you're gonna start dialing. Is that right? So can you dial straight for 5 hours, or you need to break that up? Cool. So now what I'm doing is, not only have I tied in the reason why she's dialing, now we know specifically how many dials she's gonna do a week, right? And now we have it on a schedule. We use this like basically to say they're getting hung on the tongue. They're telling me exactly what they're gonna do. You see what I'm saying? And I gotta hold them accountable to that, and they gotta hold themselves accountable to that. Does that make sense? So like, this is a great tool. If you're not using this tool, these two tools, I suggest you start. It's helped me in my business. You know what I'm saying? And you want to talk a little bit more about
I mean, y'all might like listening to this. Oh my God, does he really do all that? Does he spend that much time with his people? Does he actually ask them all those questions? He doesn't just tell them to get up and dial? Well, yeah, why do you think Bryan Rojas and Chris Lean have a large amount of unique writing agents and it's on the grow all the time? It's because they slow down. And this is, again, that's a whole nother conversation, but slowing down with the right people. You got to learn how to identify them, and then you got to take these steps to figure out what's going on. Because people will say, I mean, how often do we get, oh, I'm too busy. And then we map this out and we find a ton of white, you're looking for white space. When you're helping schedule with them, Use technology. You can pull this thing up on your iPad to a screen share and just start asking them questions. And by the time, I promise you, you're going to help them find some time in their schedule to help accomplish their goals. But I love what Stephen Davies always talks about with Hutch is, are our goals up here, and then as we come back, because GS3, it's not a one-time thing, am I right?
Right.
It's ongoing. So definitely do it when they first get started, but it's ongoing. So coming back to what Bryan's talking about with their goals, if their goals are up here, but then we end up finding out later on their activities down here, like what Davies always talks about, what do we need to do? Do we need to lower the goal, or are we going to increase our activity to get there? So this is I want to slow down and I want you all to understand how crucial that is, the GS3, to help figure it out, because it's creating leverage, right? This is helping you to create leverage to help them get what they want. And this is where it's got to get uncomfortable and you got to push them. You got to call them out. You got to call them out on their BS, because we're all real good at doing it.
You got to meet them where they're at. You know what I mean? Like, you can't expect a person to go for $40,000 in a month when that's not what they want. Now, an ambitious person, they're going to go for that goal. Cool, let's help them do that, right? Let's goal set. Let's put it on paper. Let's figure it out. But if a person just I had a lady that said this to me, Bryan, I want to make $2,000 a week, but I can only do this 5 hours a week. Okay, Miss Sabrina. All right, so here's what we could do. You only have 5 hours a week. So we either got to figure out a little bit more time so that you can it's not impossible, but this thing says you're going to need minimum 6 to 7 to 8 to 10 hours to make that type of money. Minimum, okay? So we either got to lower our goal or create more time or look for more time or, invest more time into this. It's not impossible. It's just we got to work the numbers, right? And then the last part is serving, right? Go serve them. So here's where like the building part comes in. Here's where we get them to the events. We know, and Andy Riddle has done such a great job with us, right? That if a person does not come to our events, their chances of failing are super high.
Right.
Their chances of not having hope they're going to quit. That's the mindset that we have in the Riddle Nation. If they don't come to these events, number one, am I working with them? Do they really want it? Right? Number two, like, is it worth your time, Jake and VeRae? Right? And number three, what are their chances of succeeding with us? If they're not getting around us, if they're not drinking the Kool-Aid, right? So is it worth your time investing in somebody that doesn't want to invest in themselves? Albright says this all the time. There's 3 things you cannot do. You can't kiss a girl that's leaning away from you. You can't climb a fence that's leaning towards you. And you cannot make somebody do something they don't want to do. It's nearly impossible. Right. See what I'm saying? So serving, that's where you build the person. That's where you help the person with their goals. That's where you check them when they need to be checked. Be nice about it. Learn that part. Okay? That's where you bribe them. That's where you do whatever you got to do to help their goals out. Okay? And the best way to do that is be an example. I heard this one time. People don't do as you say, they do as you do, right? You teach what you know, but you reproduce who you are. So,
Bryan, I think we wanted you to go over a little bit just about the getting started quickly and phone scripts.
Yeah.
Step four.
So this is step 4, which ties into this. Now that we have a plan together, now that we've GS3 them, right? Now we got to teach them a little bit of skills, at least to book an appointment, right? So in that same screen on NAA University, you're going to see multiple examples of how to dial, how to book an appointment, okay? It's all already laid out for you. You just got to use the tools. If you have a hammer and you don't know how to use a hammer, you know what I'm saying? That's a problem if you're trying to build a house. You got to be equipped to use that hammer. Well, same thing with our tools, right? So like, there are scripts out there. I don't care what script you use. Just stick to one, all right? If you try to do all of them, you're going to go nuts. Stick to one, perfect it, become a master at it, and then teach somebody else how to do what you've done. So here's what I do with the script, okay? I know that for a year, I struggled with the phone script. You know why? Because I didn't practice it. okay? So here's what I used to do. I used to practice on game day. You all know what that means? Come my dial session, that's where I used to bust out the phone script, and that's where I used to say it real quick. Why I sounded like a telemarketer. My upline kept telling me, dude, when are you gonna learn? How about practice when it's practice time so that when game day starts, you don't sound like a telemarketer. After a year and 398 dials in one session and only 2 appointments, I said, something's gotta give. I gotta start practicing my phone script. And I practiced for 2 hours. Those same leads that I called that I couldn't book an appointment, I booked 10 appointments in 1 hour. Yeah. And I learned something that day, is that I need to practice, and I need to practice the right way. So here's what I tell my agents, right? I need you to grab the phone script, say it out loud 10 times, okay? Say it out loud 10 times, and then I want you to send me a recording on what you sound like. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over your recording, okay? And then we're gonna role play on the phone. Let's start there, all right? Once they got that down packed, then we teach them the objections, and I go over the objections. There's only like 4 objections, and then we go from there, right? I show them how to overcome not interested. I already have it. Leave it in the mailbox, or somebody else came by. All right? You want to talk a little bit more about that, or where are we at?
Yeah, so we'll kind of go through this quickly. Getting started quickly, we use the Alliance University for that. So again, a big part of that is phone scripts. One thing that we teach our agents is 3 contacts and no appointment. You got to stop what you're doing and you got to pick up the phone, right? You don't want to be, and we've all done that. We all know somebody on our team that have done that, right? So we're speaking from experience, but you don't want to be that person that's like, hey, I'm just going to figure this out. I'm just going to figure this out. Next thing you know, you're 15 contacts in and you don't have any appointments, because I called Joseph Dukes and I said, hey, can you call Jake? And he told Jake, hey, if your wife hasn't already killed you, I'm going to, because you didn't do what we told you about picking up the phone after 3 contacts and no appointments. Quoting tools, right? We just want to make sure our agents are equipped. Again, this is all a part of the Getting Started Quickly training page. You don't want your agent to go out there and not know how to, run a quote, use the quoting tools, just simple things like that. And this is tedious and this takes time. But again, if you have a staff member, you don't necessarily have to be the one that's helping them download the quoting tools, all of that, but it has to be done. It's so important. We have to help them set up their ATM, right? And again, the Getting Started Quickly training page, it goes through that, but we're going to go over that with them. We're going to jump on a Zoom, or they're going to come to the office, or if we're traveling to see them, we're going to make sure that they have their ATM set up correctly. And then also a call from home list, right? We're really, really big on making sure our agents don't go out there and feel stuck. So it's not just Jake and I on the call from home list. It's, okay, we've got about 10 people that they can call, whether they're a part of our organization or not, right? Cross lines, up lines. We're just making sure that people feel equipped, because the last thing you want to do, we're telling our agents, hey, you don't have to know everything to get out there, but the last thing you want to do is send them out there and then not be available for them, right? So that's huge. You have to make yourself available, and you have to make that a priority in your schedule and make sure that everybody's on the same page with that.
Yeah. All right, who's ready for one more prize? I got a pop quiz. First one to answer it, get some caffeine and some unchapped lips. Who knows the first step in the 8 steps of success? Go. Damn, someone over here. Who was it? Claim it. Don't be scared.
Hey, yo, with them chappy lips.
She caught it. Pretend she caught it. That was a terrible throw. That was my fault. Personal use.
Step 5 in our process
of getting them quick. Now you can go home and not use any of this. It don't bother me. I don't care, right? They just want us to talk about this. But we remember this. We don't give in for any one person in our system. Right. We don't give in. Like, I don't care if they said they sold 100,000 in a month before. If they don't have coverage on themselves, so no wonder this is their 5th company, because never mind. I'll calm down. But this, right, Noel, we don't give in for one person. This is our system. This is what we do. So we really don't get much objections on this. But personal use, I don't care if they're 18 years old, because I know for a fact if they're getting a Red Bull a month, they can afford a policy, right? And I don't care if they've got a family with a bunch of kids, because even more so, if they don't got a policy, they need it. And if they do have one, so to preface all this, we'll make sure they fill out a green sheet on themselves beforehand. I mean, if they can't figure out how to fill it out, then we'll walk them through the rest of it. But we'll make sure we go through a green sheet on themselves. I give them reasons as to why we do personal use. It's going to be training. It's going to serve as training. You really want to go in there with a random stranger for the first time ever and not know what the heck you're doing, right? We're going to go through and walk them through a green sheet. If they have a policy already, we're going to pull it out, and we're going to do those policy review questions that Steven was talking about. More training, right? So not only on top of training, it's going to give them credibility. Because I tell them this, hey, if you choose, I don't care, you can do whatever you want, but if you choose not to write a policy on yourself, you've got one of two options when you're with your client. You can lie to their face when they ask you what they have for their family, and you can smile and lie, but guess what? You're going home, and let's say you do make the sale. Now you're going home, you can't go to bed because you lie to every single one of your clients to their face. Or two, you can tell the truth, and they kick you out of their house because they don't trust an insurance agent who doesn't believe in their own product. So you choose. You can be a liar, or you can go home not making any sales because you tell the truth, or you can just write a policy on yourself. That's what we tell them. That's exactly what we tell them every time.
Hey, Jake, you know that part where you said, hey, you're going home? I thought you were going to say, you're going to hell for lying.
I thought you was going to say that too.
That too. So I give them reasons. Once you set the table, just like with your clients, I give them reasons as to why we do this, and we don't make exceptions. If they don't do it, it's another check mark in my mental checklist of who I'm going to spend time with. But
you don't want to be in that list.
But then the specifics, now we know they can get through a Mutual of Omaha e-app or a Forrester's e-app. They know how to quote, they know how to do an e-app, they know how to scrub and do pending business, right? We're going to walk them through, our staff's going to walk them through. Personal use, it's the first step in the 8 steps of success, guys. Come on. Like, it's super, and it makes them feel better. Makes them feel better about themselves. So we could spend more time on that, but
absolutely. So we're gonna go quickly through this. But step number 6 for us when getting an agent started and selling quickly is warm market policy reviews. We're not calling them practice appointments. We are specific with warm market policy reviews. And basically what that is you get a new agent, and we want them to go out and practice on their family, on how they're going to be sitting down with somebody, how to review a life insurance policy, right? How many of you have ever been in a home and they have life insurance and you don't know what to ask them? This is going to help you take that objection away from agents and get them prepared to be in the home. So just a simple script that we use and for our agents, and we really don't care if they sell to their friends and family, but let's be honest, guys, better you help them than the agent down the street, right? Don't we care more about our friends and family than some random person that's going to come in and maybe get them that term policy that they didn't know was going to terminate? But just a quick script that we use with our agents. It's real simple. So if Jake's a new agent, this is his script. Hey, Bryan, how's it going? Hey, I didn't know if I told you, but VeRae and we just started working with this insurance business, and they actually have clients for me to work with already. But before they get me out there seeing their clients here in a couple of days, I just wanted to see if I can come by and do a warm market policy review with you. It's going to teach me a few things before I have to go out there with my families. So a couple things I want to slow down on. We used urgency. They have clients for me to work with already. I just have, before I go out and see them in a couple days, I just need to make sure that I know what I'm doing before I go out there. Because you don't want them saying, oh yeah, sure, come by next week. We want to get this done now, right? Again, we're all about urgency. So that's warm market policy reviews, very important. If they help a family, awesome. It's money in their bank account, and they've helped their family, and they can go to bed at night knowing their mom and dad, siblings have coverage.
So once we do that, okay, once they get done with their warm market appointments, what we're doing is we're talking to them about leads, and we're urgent about this. Hey, we got to get some leads going. The good thing about our company is we have a lot of leads, more leads we can handle, okay? So here's the deal. Leads cost money, and here is the cost, right? Depending on what you want. What do you want, right? And I go over this, the lead investment. And then if they give me pushback on that, what I'm saying is, all right, look, if you don't have the money, here's what we'll do. We'll get you some leads, all right? They're probably not going to be like new, like what you want, but they're going to be something for you to get going, okay? And so let's go to Bang Bang. Let's go to LPT. Let's talk to Kat over at our home office. Let's get you an appointment set up so that you can talk to these folks so you can get some leads. If they don't have that, I let them know, hey, look, I'm going to front you, okay? If you broke, but here's what we're going to do. Your first payout, you're going to buy your own leads. Is that clear? Yes. Cool. All right. So I'm telling them up front, hey, look, this is your business, all right? If I'm paying for the stuff, it's my business.
Right.
See what I'm saying? If you can't pay for your business, I'll pay for your business. I'll make it my business. You ain't got no business. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm just putting that pressure on them, and then kind of laugh at them too.
Yeah.
And then, hey, to wrap it all up is run appointments and weekly review of numbers. We get them out there, they start serving, they start helping families, and then every single week, if not twice a week, we're reviewing numbers, going over, seeing what they're doing good, what they're doing wrong, reviewing their goals.
After every home.
After every home, in between, and again, I mean, we could spend a ton of time on that as well. But again, guys, you got to go out there and find them first. So go find them and then get them started. All right.